Last year I made a video on how you can play romance in D&D. Gave several different tips on how you can make it fun and exciting, but let's be perfectly honest, there are times you do not feel like romancing your best friend's imaginary character. And there are also times when players can be too deviant. Let's put it that way. Let's say there's a bard going around flirting with everything in the world, including the kitchen table. You know who you are. Sometimes you just have to crush the romance and set the expectations that you're just going to murder things for imaginary honey. So this Valentine's Day, I'm giving you 5 ways to crush romance in your tabletop role-playing game. Number 1, the succubus or the incubus. Yes, they're different. Your player decides that he or she wants to romance a bar wench or barmaid or whatever the correct term is. You should let them go into the room to do the deed, cut to black. During the night, your player wakes up to a demonic face over them, and in the morning, when they wake, they're missing their genitalia. Yes, it has been stolen by the creature that they went to bed with. Immediately, they lose 5 points off their charisma score, and it will stay that way until they find their missing genitalia. You're not able to replace it via greater restoration. You're not able to get a priest to remove a curse to find it. No, it's gone unless you find it. But it calls to you, and since it's a demon that took it, you have to go to the underworld to find it and get it back. Through a long and arduous journey, which makes the other players really start to hate this one. You eventually find the missing genitalia in the city of Dis, where there is a roadside vendor who has multiple genitalia laid out on a blanket for anyone to buy. The player may buy it back at an exorbitant price if they can figure out which one is theirs. But when said missing member is returned, the player will find out it is cursed, and in battle, they will have an undeniable urge to make the beast with 2 backs with whatever enemy they're fighting. And in order to do that, the player must make a charisma check every round, or else they just stop fighting. This should pretty effectively put an end to romancing strange creatures. Method number 2, mimics. For anyone not in the know, a mimic is generally an object in a room like a box or a table or a pillar or a statue, which appears to be that thing, but in actuality is a creature. Now, most dungeon masters do not run mimics as they were originally intended, which were smart creatures capable of speech. So I suggest to you, every barmaid or lady of the evening or person of ill repute in your game is actually a mimic. There is a secret campaign by mimics in your universe to take over the world by any means necessary. They are currently laying in wait in every city. So every time you have a player that goes to romance someone, they end up in bed. They find they're about to bump uglies with the creature from the thing. Method number 3, the philanderer. This is a little bit of a different take. You allow the player to proceed with their conquest as they would. However, in game time, about a month after the deed was done, your party gets notification that this person is pregnant. Now, it doesn't really matter if they're male or female because this is a magical pregnancy in a magical world. Well, as you can imagine, families will be upset, especially at the unnatural pairing. And they think this person is perhaps demon infested. And who is the demon that infested them? Ha! That's your player. religious orders, exorcists, and whatever your in-game world version of the Ghostbusters is, will come to find you and kill you. Much like a dog who might be suspected of having rabies, the only way to know if your character is a demon is to kill him and check the corpse. The rumors of demonic impregnation spread throughout the kingdom. Your player and the party members associated with this player are now persona non grata. You give them the choice of going to another country and not sleeping with people, or having the whole of your current country looking to murder them. Number 4, no more harassment. A way to prevent romance before romance begins is by having very strict mating laws in your world. What does that mean? Well, it means that any person who wishes to copulate must have a permission slip from the king. Yes, that's right. In this world, the king is in charge of mating rituals. How do you think he got so much money? If your player has not gotten such a license, he will be hunted by the very forces of the king which he should be serving. Anyone who he attempts to do the deed with will certainly report his activity to town guards and the mayor and all the way up to the king himself. And as we know, the king owns a dragon, and that dragon will certainly burn that player to death. Yes, Bard, I'm talking about you. And number 5 is species dependent. Most species in fantasy worlds live longer than humans. So therefore, it should take them longer to reach the age of maturity. If you have a player who's flirting with a 50-year-old elf, just simply imply the elf is underage. Same goes for most of the other races. And there you have it, 5 ways to crush romance in Dungeons & Dragons. Thanks for watching the video. We'll be back soon with more. Hey, if you could give this video a thumbs up, really appreciate it, helps the channel, and sub for more content. And for anyone who's interested in a horror-based campaign guide, check out empireoftheundyingsun.com or click in the link below. We've got a sign-up sheet for the next campaign. We will have a second chance campaign where you can buy Empire of the Undying Sun for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition and 1st edition. And there are also individual campaign supplements to go with that as well.